Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another update for my Panda palette for you. And I'm actually excited for this one. As you guys know, I'm working on two palettes. I was working on three at the start of the year. One of them rolled over from my Panda palette, not last year, but the year before. One of them rolled over from last year, and then I rolled a smaller palette in this year. Smaller as in it only had 4 pens, but at the same time, the eyeshadows in there are pretty big, and I'm starting to fully realize that now. Anyway, let's start off with number one, my Amuse palette. This one I was working on last year already. I still have 3 shadows that I'm working on. Let's take a quick look at where that was at last time. And you guys might remember that my main goal for this one was to try and use the blue shade every single time I did my makeup. And now this is where we are right now. And as you can see, we've made some really nice progress on that blue. On the gray as well, but definitely on that blue. So let's start from the top right here. The gray shade I have used an additional 22 times since last time, bringing me to a total of 164 uses. I'm 99% sure I can finish this off. Like, I was slightly hoping that it would be done by today, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna overuse that shade. We're getting into the darker days, so like, I definitely think it's like I can use a little bit more of it now. And I also really want to get to the darker shade in my Catrice palette that I will be showing you guys in a minute. So once I can finish this off, I can solely focus on the other shade, which is going to be way more like fall-like. And I'm very excited to actually be able to use warm shades during fall this year, because most of the time I happen to have used up those type of shades already because they are my favorite, and then I would be left with the more cool tone shades at the end of the year. Still definitely have a good few of those, but I do have some warm shades to work on now as well. But yeah, definitely not a whole lot left anymore, as you can see, so hopefully this one will be done in a month from now. Then the red shade, since my full focus was on the blue, I haven't used the red shade a single time. Yeah, I was trying to use the blue every single time I did my makeup, and the red and the blue just don't really go very well together. It's just like very warm toned, very cool toned. And I know a lot of people have told me to maybe mix them up a little bit, but they just don't mix very well. I just get a really weird, like, non-color, basically. So I haven't touched the red shade, but well, today's the 30th of September when you guys are seeing this. We're in October now. I'm going full fall, even though for some reason it still seems to be summer here in the Netherlands, which is very strange. Like, the 1 year where I'm finally ready to actually appreciate fall for the very first time. Well, I kind of did last year, but even more this year. It's just not coming. Anyway, the blue shade, as I said, my main focus, and you can definitely see that I've made a big amount of progress on that guy. Shows you how much progress I can make when I actually focus in on them, because I know over the last couple of months I've always been saying, okay, I'm gonna try and focus in on like this or that a little bit more, but then I'm also doing stuff with my Pana's eyeshadows and those type of things. But when I like commit to using it every single time I do my makeup, it's possible. Like, I'm wearing it today, last day of September, as I said, and I've just been pairing it a lot with my NYX pigment, like the yellow gold. So even though it's very cool tones, I didn't want to go fully cool tone, so putting the yellow on the inner part of my lid and then just having a little bit of blue peep through, like slightly greenish, although pigment definitely has just more like punch to it than the blue, so it, like, the yellow definitely overpowers the blue that is still slightly underneath it. It doesn't like full on mix, but yeah. Blue shade I have used, how many times did I do my makeup last month? 27 times for the blue shade, which shows you that if I can make sure to not now fully forget about it and still use it 5-ish times over the next month, I'm hoping I can have that guy finished by next month. Let's see, fingers crossed. Then the blush I have used 24 times since last time. Oh, blue actually 85 times in total right now. 24 uses for the blush this month, and that brings me to a total of 306. It's ridiculous, we're in the 306, and there's still more product than there is pan showing, which I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep working on it. I did manage to roll out a blush that I was working on in my deck of panning project, which I was trying to get a certain amount of uses on, and it was taking away kind of like 5 uses every month because I tried to get just 5 uses in every month. So at least I can fully focus on this one now. There is nothing else there. We're going for warm looks, so we're just gonna go, well, not full out because this thing is ridiculously pigment already as it is, but yeah, that's what is going on with this palette. So let's move on to palette number 2, my Catrice The Seasons Must Have palette. This one has been in since the start of this year. Sadly enough, it hasn't seen as much love as I was hoping it would, because I have been really focused on at least trying to get the palettes from the last 2 years out of this project. I did finish off this shade last month, but let's take a quick look at what this palette looked like last time. And my main focus was going to be on the gray shade in here. I was hoping to hit side pan on it. And this is where we are right now, and as you can see, I did hit side pan on it, so that is good. But at the same time, it seems to be moving so slowly for me. I've used this also pretty much every time I did my makeup over the last month, and there is still a lot of work to be done. But let's start off from left to right for the viewers. I hope that's left to right. I don't know whether my camera mirrors things, but anyway, starting off with this shade, shade number 1 in the palette. I've used this 8 times over the last month, just because like with the blue and the cool toneness, instead of using that gray from my Amuse palette, I sometimes just really wanted it to lean a little bit more warm tone, a little bit more like purpley, aubergine, that type of direction. So I have been using this kind of in my outer corner to darken things up a little bit more. Also, I've been traveling a couple of days, and while I was doing that, I did not bring my black shade for my eyeliner, so this went in my outer corner, and I used the gray shade as my liner to make sure that I still like got some uses on it. But yeah, 8 uses is definitely not too bad. I'm happy enough about that. 46 uses in total. And hopefully next month I can start to fully focus in on this month once I've finished off that gray shade in my Amuse palette. So let's see how much progress we can still make before the end of the year. I don't think it's gonna be done, but yeah, the gray shade, I have used 10, 20, 29. How have I used that one 29 and the blue only 27? Something went wrong there in my markings, I think, because I'm pretty sure I've used the blue every single time I did my makeup. Anyway, 29-ish uses, bringing me to a total of 69. I was at 40 previously. So I've almost doubled it by being able to use it consistently every single time now, because there is no distractions from my Bourjois palette anymore. And well, I'm pretty sure the palette, like the pan has expanded. I haven't really looked at previous pictures, but considering how much is still left in there with the expansion that I did so far, I'm not gonna have that one finished by the end of the year for sure. This one we finished off last month, still very excited about that, at least one empty pan in here. And then the teal shade I've used twice. Just because there were 2 times where I felt like actually making the blue more like just actually cool tone. So I had the blue on the outer part and I put the teal shade a little bit more on the inside. So I did use it twice, which is good. At least it's something, but because the blue already is kind of my cool tone focus at the moment, I just most of the time didn't feel like adding more cool tone to what was happening already. This is a total of 11 uses right now. And those are the palettes that I'm working on. So let's quickly go through goals again. I want to finish off the gray shade and hopefully also the blue shade. Considering the amount of progress that I made this month, it would be like definitely a shame if I would not finish this off in the next month. And October, we're gonna go for the full-on warm fall looks. That's what I'm really looking forward to doing in the upcoming month. So yeah, the blush, we'll just keep trucking along on that one. For this one, the gray shade I'm gonna be using every single time I do my makeup. Like I am secretly hoping that I can kind of like get rid of what is still left here, but it's moving so slowly that I'm not sure if that's even possible, but we will see. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye.